It's lights out and away we go. Russell does get away well, as does Max Verstappen, and Valtteri Bottas has got his teammate right alongside him already. Sergio Perez is trying to challenge as George Russell goes into the first turn, and George Russell takes the lead of the Sakir Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas is second and gets all out of shape coming out of turn 2. That's going to give Perez and Verstappen all the impetus they need, as it's 3 cars going wheel to wheel. There's a spin right at the back, could be Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo. Lock up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc, and there's 3 cars gone off at turn 4, and we've already got high drama here on the opening lap, and it's Max Verstappen who was the third of those cars. He is out of the race on the first lap.
George Russell taking the lead, and 2 really fancied runners this evening in the barriers together there. Well, that's really taken the sting out of an element of this race, hasn't it?
And Sergio Perez all the way down in 18th place. Leclerc caught Perez. We saw the Racing Point getting all out of shape.
So Max seems under control and then gets on the skittles, and he's straight in the barrier. Wow. Perez then makes a pit stop.
Lap 7 of this Sakir Grand Prix, and it's George Russell then leading the way from Bottas, from Sainz, and Sainz looks to have got a very nice safety car restart, and he's putting Bottas under all sorts of pressure going into turn 1. It's side by side, McLaren and Mercedes. Inside line goes to Sainz, and Carlos Sainz takes second place, but has to go off the track in doing so. That allows Valtteri Bottas to reclaim that second place. George Russell already flying out in front. Ricciardo is currently 4th from Fiat, and then comes Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris. What a duel that was, Sainz and Bottas. Alex Albon is right on the back now of Lando Norris, and he might be sizing up a move to go round the outside and then pinch the inside line at turn 5. Norris tries to cover it off. Alex Albon, that is what he can do in Formula 1. Swoops past Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez then gets Norris as well, using all his years of experience to pick up the scraps after Norris had been overtaken by the Red Bull.
That puts Perez into the World Championship points already.
Oh, here comes Sergio Perez again. He got past Lando Norris on the last lap, fancies Alex Albon on this particular lap. You wouldn't think there's much space there, but Perez manages to squeeze a Formula 1 car through it. Well done, Alex Albon, for leaving just enough room, making it difficult, but Perez is past. There is Nicholas Latifi by the side of the track, so that's the exit of turn 8. Here we go, virtual safety car.
Yeah, there it is.
Virtual safety car's ended. Carlos Sainz has come in for a pit stop, and I tell you who it has helped, Sergio Perez make places up as well. He's on the hard tyre, he's going to the end on those hard tyres. He's going to try and get past his teammate if he can. Lock up there by Lance Stroll, and that will certainly help Sergio Perez gets past, and the Racing Point swap places. Sergio Perez goes up into 4th place. Here comes Sergio Perez on Esteban Ocon. He overtook his teammate on the last lap. He's got DRS to help him breeze past Esteban Ocon here. Sergio Perez, for the 2nd week in a row here in Bahrain, is running in the podium places. There's a front wing lost by Jack Aitken.
We're going to need a safety car then to clear that away, I think.
Oh, Jack, don't get out there. Safety car's been deployed.
Yeah, they have to. I can't see a gap. I can't see a gap in the way the cars are distributed around the track. And they're stacked up.
They're double stacking at Mercedes. The front right tyre was slow for George Russell. And for Valtteri Bottas, even more confusion for a crew that are normally very, very adept.
They're not happy with the left front. They're not happy with his left front.
Well, they double stack. They've reacted really, really quickly, Mercedes, and this is costing Bottas. Oh, his brakes are on fire now as well. They had the wrong compound of tyre on, and that's why they couldn't send him out again. But now those brakes are overheating. He has lost track position to Sergio Perez. He's gone from 2nd to 5th while all that was happening.
Okay, George, we're going to need to box. We have a mixed tyre set on the car.
Basically, what's happened is they've got some of Bottas's tyres on, or indeed all of Bottas's tyres on.
As now we go racing once more. Sergio Perez leads the Sakir Grand Prix from Esteban Ocon. They're having a terrific race tonight. Lance Stroll's in 3rd. Valtteri Bottas down the inside. George Russell right behind him. Alex Albon's making a move. You can see the sparks flying, and Alex Albon almost goes into the back of Pierre Gasly, but manages to avoid him and take 9th place as well. And Valtteri Bottas goes a little bit wider through turn 4. Russell's now going to have a go at him on this twisty section of the track, the middle section. He's got the inside line at turn 7, and he goes past his teammate. George Russell overtakes Valtteri Bottas. That was committed, it was brave, it was brilliant. Mercedes power against Mercedes power. He's trying to break the toe, Lance Stroll. George Russell's made up his mind to go down the inside, late on the brakes, into turn 1. Enough room for Russell to squeeze past and back up into the top 3 once again. Look how George Russell has closed up that gap to Esteban Ocon. All the while, Sergio Perez having it his own way out in front. He's got the inside line, George Russell into turn 4. That was an easier move on Esteban Ocon. Now can Perez hold on? Valtteri Bottas is under pressure from Carlos Sainz. Those tyres that are a little bit too old for Valtteri Bottas' liking have cost him again as Carlos Sainz moves up into 5th place. Sainz, who lost places when he pitted at the end of the virtual safety car and the track went green. Sainz lost places. He's making the place back up again now. And Daniel Ricciardo too, because Ricciardo goes past Bottas into the last corner, up into 6th. And now Alex Albon fancies having a go at Valtteri Bottas, and those tyres are just falling away from him. Bottas has got DRS, but he can't defend, or can he? Because there's a drag race down the straight, and the Mercedes power unit is really helping, but under braking, Albon goes through.
Looks like a rear left puncture. Looks like rear left puncture.
That's George Russell's chance of a podium absolutely gone now.
We've been denied a thrilling last few laps as well, haven't we?
The man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakhir Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, wow, what a race for him and for Racing Point. Esteban Ocon take a bow, his first podium in Formula 1, and it's the first ever double podium for Racing Point, as well as Lance Stroll takes 3rd place.
I'm speechless, guys. Good job, guys.
It was Racing Points who took 40 points from this race and strengthened their grip at 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship. But for that man, it's Magnifico, it's Sergio, and the O has gone tonight. He's finally a race winner. 5 lights on ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go, and Leclerc gets away well ahead of Hamilton and Verstappen, and then you got Sainz and Gasly scrapping away behind them, but it's Charles Leclerc with a clear lead going through turn 1. He's got the start, he's got the pole, and he's got away from Lewis Hamilton, and they're looking up. Sainz, Gasly ahead, Sergio Perez making up places as well. The 2 McLarens getting bogged down in the midfield, and the charge is on now down towards turn 3. Charles Leclerc leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Hamilton, and then comes Verstappen and Sergio Perez ahead of Gasly, but only just. The 2 going through into turn 3, separated by inches and making it. The Ferrari of Charles Leclerc has Lewis Hamilton right behind him, and Leclerc's been leading throughout this race, but not for long, because Hamilton's got the toe, he's got the slipstream, he doesn't need DRS, and he makes the pass to take the lead of this race. Leclerc's going to try and fight him back going into turn 1, but it's Hamilton now ahead of Leclerc with Verstappen in 3rd. We're watching Yuki Tsunoda in 8th as well, and we're watching Charles Leclerc under massive pressure from Max Verstappen. He's had to wait a few laps to get past the Ferrari. It's happened now at the beginning of lap 7. Hamilton leads, Verstappen is now 2nd and chasing after the Mercedes. Leclerc down to 3rd, and there's Yuki Tsunoda. Is he going to get past Fernando Alonso going into turn 1? Do you know what? Yes, he is.
Look at Sergio Perez, straight there for protection. This is exactly what Red Bull need, isn't it? Up to 3rd place. What a drive so far.
In the space of a single lap, Charles Leclerc is now out of the podium places.
What's happened in Sector 2? We've got a yellow flag.
That will attract the attention of the strategy engineers on the pit wall, and it is a Ferrari of Carlos Sainz who's gone off into the runoff area. Hamilton comes in, Verstappen and Perez stay out. Hamilton, it's a slow stop again, but he had to wait for the other car that was coming down the pit lane. We've not seen drivers have problems here, but on the hard tyre, he locks up and has to bail out.
Sorry, guys.
And he's boxing. Ted, down to you.
Yeah, I can see it just a couple of garages down. Let's have a look. Yeah, going well so far. That's not the 1.8 I've seen, but what was it, about the 2-second mark? Very, very solid. White tyres on, hard
I tell you what, Ted, Max Verstappen is away, and he is going to be ahead of Lewis Hamilton. That's the crucial thing here. Hamilton's slow stop has cost him track position after the pit stop to Max Verstappen. Hard compound tyre. For Sergio Perez, there was a problem at the rear. We'll get Ted Kravitz's thoughts on that in a moment. 4.3 second stop for Perez. That's undone all his good work. As you see Max Verstappen going into turn one. Where's Hamilton now? Coming through turn one. Sergio Perez comes out in second place, still ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen is ahead. Sergio Perez behind his teammate. Hamilton behind now, both Red Bulls. Oh no, and that is an accident, and it is Lance Stroll. And Lance Stroll, who might well have been coming into the pits, has left a huge amount of debris on the track. He's moving around in the cockpit. That's great to see. What happened to Lance Stroll? And yeah, absolutely no chance of avoiding the accidents. I said potentially coming into the pits. Oh, that's an impact, isn't it? We are going to get racing here in Baku, and now Verstappen's gone, and Lewis Hamilton has got a really nice tow behind Sergio Perez. Pierre Gasly locks up. Charles Leclerc could get interested here. Sebastian Vettel down the inside of Charles Leclerc, gets past the Ferrari. Sergio Perez is under pressure from Lewis Hamilton. There's a huge lock up by Charles Leclerc. He almost goes into the back of Sebastian Vettel. Somehow the Aston Martin doesn't make contact. Now Sebastian Vettel's looking to have a go at Pierre Gasly as well, as Hamilton is trying to make a move on Sergio Perez. Perez goes through second. Gasly goes ahead, stays ahead, I should say, of Sebastian Vettel. High drama at the restart there, and Charles Leclerc very nearly coming a cropper.
Sebastian Vettel getting a nice one off Pierre Gasly. He's going to get it done.
He's got the tow, he's got the fresher tyres, he's got the pace. Sebastian Vettel's got fourth place here in Baku. He loves this track, started in the top four in every season that he's come to Baku before. He's finished third, he's finished fourth, he's finished fourth, he's finished second, and guess what? In 2021, he's fourth again. It can go right down to the checkered flag, and look at, and that's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen on the main straight, leading this race, now out of this race. Sergio Perez leads from Lewis Hamilton. That is a 200-mile-an-hour crash for Max Verstappen, and that is also Red Bull's first 1-2 in many a long year, taken out of them as well. And the red flag has now come out. The race is now going to stop. Brakes smoking on Lewis Hamilton's car. Perez on pole, Hamilton alongside him on the front row. Perez gets away well, Hamilton will wheel spin. Sebastian Vettel is coming at them as well. Perez tries to cut off Hamilton, who locks up and goes straight on. Perez leads from Sebastian Vettel, and then comes Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc, and Hamilton has gone from second in the race to falling out of the points as they tiptoe their way around turn two. We lost the championship leader with a crash. We lost his main rival with a lock-up at the restart. This has not been a good day for the top two in the championship. Under pressure now, Pierre Gasly's got Charles Leclerc right behind him. Looks like Charles Leclerc is ahead of Pierre Gasly. Leclerc goes back up into the podium places. He started on pole, he may yet finish on the podium. Gasly's going to come back at him again though. The AlphaTauri goes a bit deep and gets past Charles Leclerc. Out in front, Perez from Vettel. This scrap's still going on. Behind them, Lando Norris waiting to pick up the scraps here. But Lewis Hamilton, 54 point scoring finishes in a row, and he fails to score points today as down the inside goes Gasly. Stays ahead of Leclerc for one brief moment. Lando Norris thought he had a chance. Gasly cuts him off aggressively going through turn four. Sergio Perez moved teams over the winter, went to Red Bull in his sixth race for his new team. Sergio Perez wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel moved teams. He picks up his first podium for Aston Martin and their first podium in Formula One. Pierre Gasly's back on the podium too for AlphaTauri as he comes home third. What a Baku race it was. What an Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Perez picks up the points. Verstappen and Hamilton, the championship contenders, both fail to finish. It's Baku to the drawing board for them. It's celebrations for Perez tonight.
We have a missive from race control. They say they were monitoring a severe downpour that was rapidly approaching the circuit, and as it arrived during the start procedure, the safety car start and its associated procedures were implemented. This was done for safety reasons in consideration that there had been no wet running this weekend.
And Anthony Noakes, the final corner, it does look like the rain is getting heavier once again.
Heavy rain now, and a lot of water generally. Copy.
Red flag has been thrown. In hindsight, with these conditions, it's highly possible we would have had a red flag had we have started racing. So the cars back out onto the track then for the first time in 45 minutes. That is Nicholas Latifi down at the Lowe's hairpin.
Gate on, the car just didn't turn. I just crashed into the hairpin.
And hitting the barriers as well, Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin through Massenet. Gasly, Stroll, Latifi coming in to change onto the intermediate tyres, just throwing a little bit of a gamble. They're at the back anyway, and see if it is good enough for intermediates.
He might have a chance up the inside of Mirabeau if he gets good drive off Casino Square.
He's going for it, Martin. He's going down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Pierre Gasly has been rather frustrated for a while, but now suddenly he's released to try and catch Daniel Ricciardo instead. Is there an opening towards to back? Gasly has a look and then thinks twice.
Yeah, and you can see Daniel Ricciardo just check the mirrors a final time.
Here
Gasly up the inside into the entry of the swimming pool. Better traction, better release off the corner. And it is definitely intermediates now.
Sergio Perez, who pits from third place. We look to see the tyres that are going on. It is the green striped intermediates. Esteban Ocon has Lewis Hamilton right behind him.
Just turned in on me, man. I don't know if my wings busted.
So our race leader, Leclerc, pitting. His teammate Carlos Sainz staying out. Intermediate tyres going on the Ferrari.
Perez is only 11 seconds behind Sainz now. Sainz has to now commit to going to full slicks.
Is the track dry enough for Carlos Sainz to pit, come out on the dry tyres?
Stay out.
That's Leclerc. They're double stacking down at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc, who was leading this race comfortably, came in for intermediate tyres and has had to make a second pit stop. As Sergio Perez comes in to make a pit stop, is Max Verstappen coming in too? Yes, he is.
It's the best way to do it. It's the right time to get on those tyres. They've finally switched on for some of the midfield and back markers.
Hang on a minute. Carlos Sainz is making his way around Anthony Noakes now. Charles Leclerc behind him. Sergio Perez is going to come out into this race behind a gaggle of cars, but ahead of Carlos Sainz. Where's Max Verstappen? He's making his way at 60 kilometres an hour down the pit lane. There's Sainz behind Perez. What I wanted to see was happening at turn one, and it's Max Verstappen ahead of Charles Leclerc. Verstappen has got ahead of Charles Leclerc, so both Red Bulls overtaking the two Ferraris. Sergio Perez, your race leader, and Carlos Sainz, the man in second place. And the race leader compromises Sainz. What a save from Carlos Sainz that was! And that is the save of the season from Carlos Sainz. Oh, that is the Haas of Mick Schumacher at the entrance to the swimming pool chicane. Oh, it let go, hit the Armco, spun around a couple of times and then into the Tech Pro barrier.
And now there's a red flag to repair the barrier, it must be, Crofty.
Yeah, there is.
Could be anything else.
A rolling safety car restart to navigate, and he can continue to lead this Monaco Grand Prix, he hopes. He's away. And behind him, Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Behind Sainz, Max Verstappen for Red Bull. Then Charles Leclerc, who's already a little bit behind Max Verstappen on those hard compound tyres. Lost ground just down that main straight. George Russell comes next behind Russell. Lando Norris also on the hard compound tyre. Then it's Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Esteban Ocon and Valtteri Bottas in the top 10. Through Casino Square we go. Sergio Perez easily surviving the restart, but now locking up quite dramatically going into Mirabeau. Did very well to come off the brakes and make that right-hand turn. Zhou Guanyu behind Yuki Tsunoda. He's actually going for the move, but going straight on. Oh, and nearly going into the side. That's another fabulous save.
Yes, that might even be better than Sainz's.
Let's have a look on board. Whoa!
Sainz has got to just put supreme pressure on and hope that he can force Perez into braking too late, basically, and leaning on those front tyres when they won't give him enough mechanical grip. Look at this, top four then, almost nose to tail.
Just under 10 minutes to go in this race. And what, a couple of seconds between the top four in this race.
Yeah, I think check up the tires.
What a race. We've had everything, haven't we? Absolutely everything. Controversy, chaos, uncertainty, and now here we are, to 6 o'clock in the evening nearly.
Sainz is on it here, Sainz is on it here. He got a good exit out of Portier. He's going to try and go the impossible way around the chicane, and Perez was wise to it. Sergio Perez, who started in the top 6 here in Monaco for the first time ever, who has led a race in Monaco for the first time ever, who suffered disappointment in Barcelona last time out, and who has rebounded in some style to take his 3rd victory in Formula 1. It's Perez in the Principality. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz once more has to settle for a runners-up spot behind a Red Bull here in Monaco. Max Verstappen completes the podium with 3rd place, and Charles Leclerc in his own race comes home to finish for the first time, but that might not be too much comfort for a race where he led the early stages.
This is us! Come on! Vamos! Well done, guys!
Red Bull's day for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. It's Red Bull on top in Monaco, and this year it's Sergio Perez, the winner. It's lights out and away we go. Leclerc and Perez get away well. Hamilton behind Leclerc wanting to get on with it, as is Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri, and Sergio Perez leads them into the first corner as he did in Baku. Hamilton goes wide. Carlos Sainz will slip through into 3rd place. Lando Norris putting pressure on Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso has lost places one by one. They're all making their way round. Max Verstappen looks to have got bogged down a little bit and lost places going into turn 1. We now make the turn right-handed and onto the Raffles Boulevard, and it's a long straight towards the next left-hander, and you can see the spray coming up there, but nothing to interfere with Sergio Perez's view. He's out in front. Lando Norris has a look at Lewis Hamilton around the outside. Fernando Alonso keeping Pierre Gasly at bay, and that looks like Kevin Magnussen and the Haas going off, and it looks like a Williams of Nicholas Latifi, I think, or Alex Albon, who has gone off at turn 7 and was going backwards down the escape road.
Lewis Hamilton had a helping hand off the road in turn 2 by Carlos Sainz at the start.
Verstappen's getting his elbows out, and I think he might have made contact with the back of Lance Stroll's Aston Martin, and once again losing more places. That's Daniel Ricciardo making his way past Max Verstappen. Verstappen on the inside will now try and get that place back again, and he does. Verstappen not having an easy start here. Worth pointing out, Sebastian Vettel in 8th place. Tremendous start from him in his final Singapore Grand Prix. His teammate Lance Stroll under pressure now from Max Verstappen, who slides down the inside and moves his Red Bull up into the top 10. Zhou Guan Yu, who has stopped on the track. This is at turn 5. Oh, hit the wall, and Latifi hitting the wall too.
The guy just fully squeezed me into the wall, guys. I don't know what is he doing.
Copy, John, I've seen it.
Safety car.
Safety got the full safety car as well.
Green flags waving. Perez from Leclerc, from Sainz, from Hamilton, from Norris. There's Alonso, and then comes Gasly and Vettel, and Max Verstappen once again right on Sebastian Vettel's tail. And Verstappen certainly wasn't caught a napping at the start of the race once again. He was very much on his toes and trying to get past Sebastian Vettel. And has he had a little look down the inside, I wonder?
Yes.
He has got ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Max Verstappen up into 8th place where he started the race. Max Verstappen a long, long way from thinking about how to celebrate a 2nd world title. To give it some more thought, he goes down the inside and onto the Esplanade Bridge, and he finds himself ahead of Pierre Gasly. Verstappen and Alonso just swapping places there. We've now got a yellow flag out there on the track too in the
Alonso stopped.
middle part of the lap as Fernando Alonso stops.
Engine.
Copy.
Engine problem.
Ooh, Yuki.
You go slightly offline, and that's on Inters. You go slightly offline, and you'll be straight in the wall.
this is what happened to Alex Albon. Just
it's one
couldn't
of
get the
those
grip.
horrible, silly shunts. He's gone in, the front won't bite. He's then gone onto the wetter part of the track and had a very pedestrian, just understeers towards the wall. Oh no. It's the gap back down to 2.7, showing 3 on the top of the screen.
Oh, and that's Lewis Hamilton going straight on. Hamilton, frustrated behind Carlos Sainz, has gone straight on and has hit the barrier down at turn 7. Norris and Verstappen coming to the scene of the accident. Hamilton rejoins the track, Norris goes through, Hamilton rejoins the race ahead of Max Verstappen. Over the bumps, just couldn't turn. Well, committed, didn't he, to the corner and couldn't go down the escape road. And that's the issue for Yuki Tsunoda. He's gone into the barriers at turn 10.
Switch off, engine off.
That could well be a full safety car. They've got to fix the barrier there.
He's gone in at about 80 miles an hour, Yuki Tsunoda. Safety car, full safety car, has been deployed. Let's see what they've got in store for us now as we race towards the checkered flag. Sergio Perez into the first corner ahead of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen right up behind Lando Norris. Daniel Ricciardo comes next on the soft compound tyre. Everyone else bar Bottas is on the medium compound tyre.
Yeah, both Red Bulls and using the straight line to try to put some energy into the tyre. You're not really losing anything down there, swinging around. And you can see then Verstappen immediately with lots of confidence.
Behind Ricciardo, Stroll, Vettel, Hamilton and Gasly complete the top 10. There goes Max Verstappen locking up his brakes, and Max Verstappen goes straight on, manages to stop in time, spins the car around 180 degrees and rejoins the race. Verstappen went for it, but were those tyres and brakes too cold to make such a bold move?
George,
what's
with a
happened
right
to George
puncture.
Russell? Yeah, he's got a puncture.
Has he?
What the hell happened there?
You turn right into him, George.
He came out last after having to pit for new tyres, and Max Verstappen has just put himself into the points. He's got past Valtteri Bottas. Gasly's on the medium compound tyre. Verstappen getting very, very racy and picking up a couple of World Championship points. Next car up ahead is Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton this time having a go on Sebastian Vettel. Vettel positions his car absolutely perfectly to deny him. Hamilton, is he going to go down the inside? Has to lock up. Verstappen goes through on Hamilton. Verstappen just bided his time a little bit. Hamilton made the move on Sebastian Vettel. It didn't come off, and Verstappen said thank you very much.
To the line.
Oh, as Max Verstappen makes the move on Sebastian Vettel, straight line speed of the Red Bull looks pretty good if he can make it into the corner okay, and Sebastian Vettel does get overtaken by Max Verstappen, who's up into 7th place, but while he'll look at just a few points, it's going to be maximum points for Sergio Perez, who on the streets of Singapore wins the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. This, the greatest race for Sergio Perez.
Vamos, Checo. Unbelievable. What a drive.
This is how we do it, man. We shut our mouth and we work hard. This is the Mexican way. Well done, guys.
Well, it was the nights that Max Verstappen had his first chance at winning a world championship, but it was his teammate who decided to go and grab the headlines. He led every single lap of the race up to lap 48. Sergio Perez on top of the podium and having a brilliant night here in Singapore, our winner this evening.
And the Saudi Grand Prix is go. Alonso's going to put pressure on Perez in the opening meters of the Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso takes the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Down goes Perez, but the old lion has roared back to the front of the field. The oldest driver in the field leads. It's Alonso, Perez, then it's George Russell in 3rd. There's debris there being clobbered by Lando Norris further back in the order. That's Alex Albon, who's all over the road in the Williams. Up goes Alonso, down goes Perez. Russell, Sainz and Stroll are where they started.
I think the debris might have come from Piastri potentially in the McLaren. Yes, it has. Look, he's missing a bit of front wing there. So Piastri is in the wars from a good starting place. Alonso's made a great start, and here comes Lance Stroll.
Stroll around the outside. Can he pull off an amazing move? What an opening lap for Aston Martin. That is incredible stuff. He went all the way around the outside to move up to 4th. Stunning. Stunning.
Alonso there with incorrect starting position.
Fernando Alonso finds himself with a 5-second penalty. A procedural mistake with a big consequence. He's the lead car, but he's got a penalty hanging over him. Here comes Perez down the inside to take the lead of the Grand Prix, but he locks up and he's going to give Alonso another opportunity. You do not invite a two-time champion to a further fight, and Alonso will be in the fight. Now does he decide to let Perez go as the new race leader, or does he have an opportunity to launch one to the inside? Hamilton's under serious pressure and he knows it. We go driver's eye view as Charles Leclerc tries to get past and he opens the steering to leave the room. That is a pass and a half for Charles Leclerc to take 8th place. Let's have some more racing. Hamilton has been warned for driving standards. The black and white flag has been shown to him for weaving on the straight, and weave he might, but he can't keep Charles Leclerc behind. The Ferrari driver from 12th on the grid, now up to 7th in the Grand Prix. Hamilton, will he defend from his old rival? Can he defend? The answer is no. Through goes Max Verstappen up to 8th place in a different race this weekend to Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc, driver's eye view, wonderful trackside pictures as he eases past the Alpine and he moves up to 6th place. And Max Verstappen sliding past Esteban Ocon and moving up to 6th position.
Lance, stop the car. Lance, stop the car, stop on track.
What effect does this have on his teammate and his 5-second penalty? Will this be a full safety car? Will it be virtual?
Full safety car deployed, and if you now make your stop under these conditions, you gain enormously compared to those under the green flag.
Is there a little puff of white smoke? I don't know if that's just the dust as he's gone off the track now, but it looked like there was maybe a slight puff.
So in comes the race leader, Verstappen also being called in as well. So Verstappen absolutely now in contention for victory. The stop for the Aston Martin. They are waiting 5 seconds before they go to work.
And try to push from safety car line 1 for Hamilton. He just beat it.
Xavi, you need to tell me that before.
Copy.
No, but come on!
If Leclerc had known that Hamilton was in the pits, he wouldn't have left a big gap for Hamilton to emerge in front.
Good drop by Sergio Perez. That was a great camera angle to show you that he's got the restart right. And it's Alonso trying to protect from George Russell going into turn 1 with the late move to defend it. Will he make the corner? Alonso deep in there. He will. Slightly cold tyres out there for the time being. The two Alpines are going to go wheel to wheel. Gasly and Ocon giving each other just about enough room as they're weaving like it's a formation lap to try and generate higher temperature in the hard. Hamilton's got a chance on those medium tyres compared to the hards of Carlos Sainz. Dare he go around the outside? No opportunity this time. Verstappen unable to make an impression on George Russell for 3rd, and all over the back, further back. There's Hamilton. Better traction, better launch, 5th place.
Sainz defends the pit wall. Lewis goes to the outside, has grip to brake. Sainz was brave on the brakes considering he's on those hards, but he couldn't slow the car down. Clambers over the curb, can't get on the power, and Hamilton says thank you very much. Verstappen might have a chance here. Big slipstream on the other Mercedes of Russell.
Easy pass for Max Verstappen to the inside, and he takes 3rd place. He doesn't wait around at all. And in Alonso's wildest dreams, I didn't think he'd be expecting to fight for a podium position. He's trying to make it 2 in a row, having only scored 2 in 9 years. He checks the mirror and watches Max Verstappen go past. Verstappen up to 2nd place, only his teammate between him and an audacious victory in the 2nd race of the season.
Zero fight there from Fernando, something you very rarely will hear people say, but he was just waiting there. It was almost like he was getting out of the way with a blue flag.
Oh my god, brake failure.
Well, he's not in the wall, Albon. He's still going round and he's in 13th place still. So
if he's got an issue with his brakes, then now you've got to move over.
He's pulling to the side of the road, and Alex Albon electing not to come into the pits, but letting everyone go past. And the driver who was chasing some points here last year before contact with Lance Stroll is tumbling out of contention in 2023. Okay, Logan Sargent under pressure now. This could be for points later in the Grand Prix. Zhou Guanyu with huge speed around the outside, which turns into the inside line, which turns into 13th place for the Chinese driver, who will want to see that back later.
Verstappen's just lost a second in the first sector on this lap. The gap's gone over 5 seconds again.
It makes like a weird noise in high speed.
Okay, understood, Max. We are monitoring. I'll let you know. We are happy at the moment, Max.
Wait, there's something wrong.
Okay, stand by. Keep going for the moment.
DRS open, so that is Yuki Tsunoda staying ahead of Magnussen. Tactical games being played, but they both lock up into turn one. They're both deep. Oh, that's a pass and a half for Kevin Magnussen to take the final point. He's been under pressure throughout. He had to overtake Fernando Alonso after losing the lead at the start, but he comes out of the final corner as the first driver to see the flag for the 5th time in Formula One. Sergio Perez wins. It's Perez on top at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. It's a Red Bull 1-2, but who's your championship leader? The answer across the line is Max Verstappen, who takes the final lap on the last tour to maintain the championship lead by taking the bonus point for fastest lap. Perez with the win, Verstappen with the championship lead. Oh no, it's a 10-second penalty for Fernando Alonso. Did they wait the right amount of time, failing to serve the penalty correctly? It is 10 seconds, and Alonso and Aston Martin will be furious. Fernando Alonso goes off the podium, and George Russell is promoted to 3rd place.
Wicked job.
Wicked! Nice job, guys. Well done. Excellent result for the team.
Fantastic, Checo. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really amazing drive. That last stint was on fire. Well done, mate.
What a moment for Sergio Perez, out of the car and delighted to win. 1 year later, he has finished the job. It's Sergio Perez who keeps the win, obviously, having put together a superb drive. Max Verstappen in 2nd place, having climbed 13 places, but George Russell takes 3rd. My thanks to you for watching. We'll see you in Albert Park when Formula One returns. And Formula One is underway on the streets of Baku. Good reaction time for Verstappen, but it's Charles Leclerc who maintains the lead into turn one. The top 3 are as they were going through. Sainz is in 4th. Hamilton is vulnerable to Fernando Alonso diving to the inside, but Hamilton chops across. Lost momentum for Alonso means he's vulnerable now, and there's a tap there between a Williams. I think that was Oscar Piastri getting hit as he went through. He was side by side, dropping back, losing positions at the start. He's lost one. It's as you were in the top 5 though.
I think it was Albon nibbling a bit of Piastri further down on the edge of the top 10.
Is there going to be any opportunity for Charles Leclerc, who's checking the mirrors early? He knows the threat is close. Will he be able to offer a defence? Is it the moment for Max Verstappen to use the slipstream to power alongside and take the lead? It looks like it might be, and say goodbye to Max Verstappen in 2nd place, because that's the race lead for the world champion, breezing on by, and Verstappen takes 1st place in the race. And we are waiting to see Perez use the efficiency. The barn door opens and Perez takes a dart to the inside. Charles Leclerc knows he can't fight it with defence on the way in. It's a Red Bull 1-2 as Perez takes 2nd. And Hamilton pits. He doesn't fancy a wheel-to-wheel with Fernando Alonso, and he pits to get rid of the tyres.
Yeah, and they're all going to have to start pitting as well with others that have jumped in early. Albon, now Norris is covering off his teammate and Yuki Tsunoda, so it's going to trigger this round of pit stops. Maybe put us towards a 2-stop Grand Prix as well, depending on how this hard holds out.
Baseline is...
Yeah, but I'm sliding.
Understood.
Now this could bring out the virtual safety car. Nick de Vries has gone deep, and that is why we have the yellow flag. Verstappen being told to come into the pits, and Perez will assume the lead at a circuit he adores.
So de Vries is off at turn 6. He sounded like he had the engine going, but if there's suddenly a safety car or a VSE, Max has pitted at a very bad moment here because everyone else will save 9 seconds on a pit stop. Early stop for Verstappen, who was getting through his tyres just too quickly. Safety car's called.
Full safety car is out, and that is a massive advantage. Then they'll have to respect the delta that they now get. That is Nick de Vries clipping the apex wall and damaging the front left.
Yeah, so it is just a bit greedy on the apex of the left-hander, and it is a driver error then for de Vries. I was wondering how on earth you end up in this position, but he couldn't turn the car to the right.
It's Perez and Leclerc getting the benefit of pitting under the safety car, and they find themselves ahead of Max Verstappen.
Leclerc looking racy behind him. Now Perez goes.
And we are back racing in Azerbaijan. Charles Leclerc, does he get a run to the inside? Will he take the opportunity? Perez feeling the need to defend. He's on cold tyres, remember. There's an opportunity for Max Verstappen as they make their way through. Will they all make the corner? Cold tyres, cold brakes, they will. And it's the top three as they were. That's a late lunge to the inside for the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, who gets the place back that he lost in the pit stop. But this is Max Verstappen darting out of the slipstream, trying to immediately take the Ferrari back. Can he do it? This time he does it without DRS. Big move for Max Verstappen's Grand Prix.
Yeah, he needed that. Needed to clear the Ferrari, and now he can go and chase after Perez. Alonso on the inside of Sainz. That's opportunistic. Brilliant from Alonso.
Phenomenal move for fourth position for Fernando Alonso.
On board, here we go with Fernando Alonso. So Sainz is looking good. Gets a little bit boxed in behind his teammate. Alonso just says, wow, if you don't want the inside, I'll take it. And sticks it in there. Laid on the brakes, committed. Brilliant from Alonso.
Sainz trying to respond, and further back, that's a dive to the inside and a tidy move for Lewis Hamilton, who gets past his teammate. This is Lance Stroll, and he is getting tight to the wall, very tight to the wall.
The wall, check tire.
I'm sure you'll all notice that's the same part as Nick de Vries hit, and ended up parked on those skid marks there, down towards turn 6, which is why we had the safety car.
This is on board with Kevin Magnussen, trying to fight his way through, and great driver's eye view of a move that takes him up the order, and he just hangs onto it for a second before losing the place again.
Heart in mouth for K-Mac.
1.5 seconds. Oh, very nearly over the road, all over the road for Stroll, who's checking the mirrors. He very nearly clipped the barrier. He did clip the barrier a few moments ago, and he's invited Lewis Hamilton to tuck up in the slipstream and to shape for the pass. Stroll, who put a good move on earlier on, one Mercedes, is about to be passed by the other, as the similar power unit for the two of them, but it's DRS for Hamilton, and the mistake at 16 opens the door. Hamilton feeling the need to jump across and defend the place. He's up to 6th. This is turn 15. He turns in, and he would have been heart in mouth for a second there.
Does he brush it? Does he brush it? Oh, he does.
Indeed.
He does with the right rear. A little bit of give in the Tech Pro, and he needed it.
Further back down the order, selling the dummy and making his way through. That is a fine move on the attack for Pierre Gasly, and it's only for 18th, but it's the best moment of his weekend so far.
What happened at 15? Copy.
Oh my days, that's your race leader, and he's hit the wall at 15. He is pushing.
He's got him. Lando Norris finally fights away by.
Here we go on board then. He's not having to defend. He made a mistake on the braking here. There's a bit of a lock-up. Now he's wide, and yeah, he's just tightened the second part of it. You're absolutely right, and then can't get out the corner. The man in the McLaren comes straight through on the inside.
It has been a phenomenal performance from Sergio Perez. The Street Fighter's done it again. Sergio Perez wins in Azerbaijan to take his 6th career victory, to beat his teammate. Max Verstappen takes the fastest lap on the last tour, but it's Perez's day in Baku. He's the first repeat winner at this venue, and despite all of Fernando Alonso's efforts, it's Charles Leclerc who's going to beat him to the rostrum. For the first time this season, Ferrari on the podium with Charles Leclerc. George Russell put the soft tyres on, completes all 3 sectors at the end, takes the checkered flag, and looks for the fastest lap. He comes across the line and he's got it.
King of the streets.
Well done, guys. We dominated this weekend. Well done, guys. Well done.
It's another glorious day in the motor racing history of Red Bull. They are sweeping the races. 2 wins so far for Verstappen, 2 wins now for Perez, and just 6 points in the World Championship battle.